Well, this is about a guy and his dog who fly spaceships, and you know, and a little kid who's, you know, lost in the desert, and you know, they just had no idea what I was talking about. And I thought the idea that this would be commercial is, you know, there's no movie stars in it, there's no, you know, it's not based on a book, it's not on anything that anybody can deal with, so they just said, well, this is going to fail. So, but because I believed in it, and I wanted to see all three movies made, when I made the deal, instead of taking a big chunk of money, because when I made the deal I was broke and I needed the money just to survive, to write the script, but then by the time I got the script done, American Graffiti came out and I was a big successful guy. So instead of asking for more money, all I did is I wanted the rights to the sequels. But of course the sequel to a terrible movie that's not going to go anywhere, and I was paying, you know, about $1 million for it. So, I mean, in terms of what I could have had for a salary and what I actually got for a salary, which was very low. And they said, well, they're a corporation. They said, hey, this makes our next quarter look good. We don't have to spend the money. We're giving away something that's probably not worth anything anyway. But I did it because I was determined to make the movies. I assumed the first one would be a failure. I assumed I would take the second one out and beat everybody over and somehow get it made, and then the third one would get made. So it was that process that drove me to doing it and making sure that the redemption was there. At the end of Empire, now, anybody knows much about writing, you got the first act, or the first chapter where you're introducing everybody, saying what the problem is, and all that sort of thing. The middle part, it progresses. And in the last part, you have the climax, and whatever happens, happens. But the middle part is basically not much. You know, it's just the part between getting to know the characters and find out what happens to them. So I was looking at this and I said, this is going to be hard, because I was ending it on a real downer. I mean, after all, you know, I'm your father cutting your hand off, that's a little rough. And I said, and I did bring a few psychologists, and I said, look, is this, you know, if you were a 10-year-old boy, would this be a harmful thing to you? Because let's face it, that's, mythologically speaking, and I've based this whole thing on psychological motifs, that is a real key motif. Not including the part about your mother. But and I talked to them and they said, you know, it won't hurt them at all. And I said, really? Because I was worried about it. Right. And I said, they said, why? I said, well, Darth Vader's a bad guy, and some kids will be able to handle it, depending on their age range. And they'll just say, that's interesting. And the others who can't handle it emotionally will just say, well, Darth Vader's lying. I mean, he's a bad guy. He just lies about everything. And they won't believe it. And they won't believe it. He's not his father. So they have a built-in safety net to keep them from understanding the true nature of their father.
I hope my kids aren't hearing that today. Here's a quick one from Nick, and that leads to most impressive fan-made Star Wars memorabilia. Anything that a fan has made. You have like something that you've seen that somebody sent to you, piece of something that you love.
Something that's sort of been given to me.
Yeah.
I got a little me in carbon freezing, which I liked a lot.
Really?
And then I got another one, which was a Jar Jar Binks in carbon freezing. And that one was so good, as a little one, they actually made a big one at ILM. So we have a full-size one. We have the real one from Han Solo. And next to it is that one, yeah, which is the Jar Jar Binks.
They seem to appreciate him in carbonite.
Well, there's always got to be somebody who takes the brunt of the, let's say, ridicule. And in the first film, it was 3PO. Right. Nobody could stand 3PO. They hated him. He was the worst character on Earth. All he did was talk. He was fussy. They couldn't stand him. Then, in the third film, we introduced the cute little Ewoks. And that then took all the pressure off 3PO. Right. They loved 3PO after that, but they hated the Ewoks. You know, and they were going to lynch me and do all kinds of terrible things. And because the sign we had in the design group was "Dare to be cute," and we knew we'd get killed for it, but we said we gotta, you know, why not? And then obviously the last victim of this ridicule has been poor old Jar Jar Binks, which is basically he is the same sort of fussy bumble guy that Trivia was. But anyway,
guess who Mike is?
There's got to be somebody in there for everybody.
They love Jar Jar. Well, you know, you can never write with your audience in mind. You have to write to the story in mind. I mean, that's the way that I've always found it.
Well, younger comedy, the older fans don't like.
Right.
And we know we have a real, honest-to-God generation gap with Star Wars, which is we found out from the first, when we brought out episode 1, which is anybody over 40 loves 4, 5, and 6. Hates 1, 2, and 3. But you will notice that the kids that are under 40 or under 30, put it that way, under 30 all love 1, 2, and 3, including Jar Jar Binks, and hate 4, 5, and 6. Because it's, where are the younger ones?
Hold on 1 second.
If you're 10 years old, stand up and fight for your rights!
I didn't quite understand what that was, so can you translate to me what that was, what they were doing? Was that just yelling? Show me the gesture that would be what they just did to us. Yeah, okay. That's what I was looking for. Coming from the crowd.
But of course now,
they were being coy. I didn't know what you were getting at.
Now we got the under 10-year-olds, but that set has grown up a little bit.
Right.
Now we've got the Clone Wars, which means the under 10-year-olds don't even know about Star Wars. All they know about is Ahsoka. And they're happy.
Are you working on any product for Beatles?
Yeah.
Anything that you can inject into your audience through ultrasound?
We are doing that right now. Seth Green, funny. It was so funny that I convinced him that we would do a little cartoon show like SpongeBob SquarePants for 4 and 5 years old, and he still believes that it's for, 21-year-olds.
Right. Beautiful.
And it's for 21-year-olds. It's just going to look like it for 5-year-olds. And it'll be some strange kind of mishmash that nobody at this point really knows what's going to happen. But I know one thing, it'll be funny.
Yeah, no question. Let's talk a little bit about sort of the overriding, there's a lot of spirituality to it. The Force, the inspiration for the Force. You put these out as stories. Did you ever think, you know what, why don't I just turn this into Dianetics? Forget about merchandising. Start my own religion, move everybody out to the desert. Do a little number on that. What was the idea originally in utilizing
the Force ultimately was, I had studied comparative mythology, and so what I did basically was take the intelligent ruler, the God idea, and I went through all of the religions, and I found the commonality. I had studied comparative mythology, and so what I did basically was take the intelligent ruler, the God idea, and I went through all of the religions, and I found the commonality, and the commonality ultimately is what the Force is, which is it's all religion. So you can interpret it any way you want, and obviously it's sliced and diced very thin, no matter whether you're Christian or Muslim or anything. There's like 16 or 25 or 35.
You can say Jew.
Jew. I can say Jew. But there's there's fewer Jews, so there's fewer versions.
Less midichlorian.
Yeah. You get what? Maybe there's like 2 or 3 dozen sects of different.
Right.
You got the Orthodox, the Progressive, the
Reform, which is Jews that eat bacon.
Yeah, you don't have the nice histories the Christians have, where it was all